Was WrestleMania 31 as good as we remember? Let me take you back to 2015. Sting made his WWE debut, Randy Orton is feuding with The Authority, Taker is back with hair. WWE said, yeah, you got what you wanted at Mania 30, now it's our time, pal. And the main event build concluded with WWE Championship Tug of War. It's my WWE title. No, it's my WWE title. And if you don't give it back to me, I'm gonna tell on mommy. We don't want either of you! WrestleMania 31, the one where Brock Lesnar took Roman to Suplex City, bitch. Keep it PG. And nothing happened after it. Not even one of the greatest WWE cash-ins of all time. The thing is, no one expected this WrestleMania to be any good. WrestleMania 30 felt like one of these, yeah, let's wrap it up WWE shows where they absolutely peaked with the perfect ending, and of course breaking our hearts with the ending of the streak. Still one of my most rewatched WWE moments ever. I love pain. Oh, don't you judge me. Whatever the hell I'm doing is nothing compared to what this guy was doing to Brandy back then. Look at this guy. So how could WrestleMania 31 follow with such a horrible build?
Okay, it's time I tell on daddy.
Like, come on one hand you have what the fans want, on the other hand you have what Vince wants. Yet some people will say WrestleMania 31 was actually the better WrestleMania, so I decided to put that to the test and revisit this beloved pay-per-view. Fun fact, the event is over 4 hours long, but if you cut the recaps, you cut the entrances, it's 2 hours of wrestling. Makes you think, doesn't it? About something at least. I'm thinking about how stupid Triple H's entrance looked. So was this Mania as good as we remember? Or are we just blinded by some great moments we got? People, let's revisit WrestleMania. WrestleMania. Oh my god, I love this dude's voice. WrestleMania. We're gonna talk about WrestleMania. There's gonna be some wild moments at WrestleMania. You're looking good tonight. Are you prepared to watch WrestleMania? We got a brand new updated play button logo that we all hated at the time, because they removed numbers. It looks corporate. We hated it. The arena looked nice. Something about that daylight WWE show, right? Which actually during the show kinda backfired. First we got the Intercontinental ladder match. I don't remember anything about the build. Daniel Bryan was back in midcard. IC champion Wade Barrett was ready to slam some bullocks, mate. Dolph Ziggler had cute hair. Cody brought his kings to WrestleMania. Late great Luke Harper was in the match. Always loved the detail of the dirty shirt. Like, he never cleaned it. Committed to the character. R-Truth found his way to WrestleMania, and Dean Ambrose wasted no time. Every time I say I need ladder matches at Mania, this is the match I have in mind. You have a bunch of talented sweaty dudes with your crazy shite, as Wade Barrett would say. R-Truth has a fear of heights. There goes his chance of winning. I think Daniel Bryan was the favorite to win this match, and I was the only person in the world who was rooting for Dolph Ziggler. I was a Ziggler mark. Stardust did some really cool stuff, but rewatching it, I kept wondering, look at how they massacred our boy. Why? Such talent. At one point, the face of the company was put into a condom. He brought some galaxy-ass ladder that Wade Barrett broke and used as a weapon. Okay, when Harper does this helicopter spot, I can take it seriously. We got a cool suplex off the top of the ladder. People, this match was a lot of fun. And again, the reason why I keep asking for a ladder match at WrestleMania. Harper powerbombs Dean through the ladder, deserved holy shit chance, and this was WWE's way of saying, yeah, you probably wanted Dean and Daniel, so now you got a chance for Daniel. I remember during this Bryan and Ziggler headbutt encounter, I really wanted Dolph to win. Slam him harder, Dolph. But of course it was Daniel Bryan who picked up the W, which was a bittersweet, not only for me because, well, I like Daniel Bryan, I like Ziggler more. I'm a weirdo. But just a year ago, Daniel Bryan was in the main event of WrestleMania, won 2 matches in the same night, and now he's back in the mid-card. So it was a bit of a bittersweet moment, but at least Daniel Bryan won. Truth be told, Bryan was never meant to be this big in the WWE. It doesn't fit their agenda, people. Look at Roman, look into his blue eyes. That somehow later changed. How did that happen? And I think that's hilarious. Vince McMahon was like, this guy is hot as hell. There's one thing he's lacking is these ocean eyes, pal. But what a way to kick off WrestleMania. Again, sets a standard of what we want every year, and we barely ever get. Then it was time for Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins, which was actually a pretty decent build. So Randy Orton was the authority boy, the chosen one. He's the reason Daniel Bryan didn't succeed in kayfabe. But Hunter found a younger talent who kinda replaced Orton. So these bastards, people, they turned on Randy, put him on the shelf. After 4 months, Randy's back. Me a happy boy. Happy chubby boy. Come join the authority. Crazy or some shit? Like, why would he? You tried to endgame. Orton had no plans of joining the Authority again. Pretty decent build, all things considered. I do remember wanting another Randy versus Triple H rivalry, but that's just probably me. I grew up with that. The first show I watched had Triple H and Randy Orton, and then, 2009 rivalry, come on. So Rollins was Mr. Money in the Bank. I wonder, when is he going to cash in, if ever? I remember how odd Orton's attire looked at the time to us. He broke the gimmick of, I'm not stupid, I only wear black ties. I don't want to look stupid or something. Okay, so there was nothing really on the line, but y'all know why this match stood out. I love the buckle powerbomb no-sell. Orton was bullying J&J security like he always does. Curb stomp into power slam was neat. I think this match is a little better than I remember. Orton with a crossbody? Put him in the cruiserweight division. This match is kind of forgotten because everybody keeps talking about that, ending of the match, but I actually really enjoyed it. I think the reversals were really on point during this match. Pretty fast, especially for a Randy Orton match. And this is the sequence everybody saw 1,000 times. What an RKO. The fact that they pulled that off is absolutely crazy. Orton's timing is just absolutely perfect, and there's a reason why every wrestler almost says, yeah, Randy is the greatest wrestler of all time. If you heard that, that's just basically a refreshener. Why are you doing that? I didn't fart. So Randy Orton wins. Bad night for Seth Rollins. Well, at least he has the briefcase. Maybe one day he can cash in. Maybe on Raw after WrestleMania. Maybe that would be pretty cool. Now everybody in the comments below, let me know, was that the greatest RKO of all time? I mean, the competition is crazy. Sting made his debut against Triple H. That Survivor Series debut in particular is so iconic. WCW guy who never went to WWE actually saved the WWE. That's nuts. But I guess it was no mistake his first rivalry was against Triple H. The guy who doesn't really like WCW talent, even 59 years later, when it doesn't matter anymore. Never probably did. Also really annoying how we're supposed to present it after WCW died, Sting did nothing. That's it. WCW died, no competition. WWE is the only company, then, now, forever, WWE Universe. Don't get it twisted. I don't like professional wrestling, I like the WWE. He was just chilling, still painting his face, for shits and giggles. And here it is, people, Sting is at WrestleMania. We got Triple H's worst entrance. What was Bud thinking? This match pretty much had everything you need, with the obvious result that Sting is winning. But still, can't wait to see how Sting wins. That's pretty interesting.
Suck it.
All things considered, Sting looked pretty strong in this match. Suck more. Oh, and I think more people need to use the spine buster. What a beautiful move. Sting catches Triple H and puts him in Scorpion Deathlock. And this is where we got the craziness, the extravaganza of this match, as they say. DX comes out, this match is no DQ. Sting takes care of them, including Triple H. Sting was doing pretty good, but he eats a pedigree that he kicks out of.
My good old sledgehammer.
And WO comes out, which looked really cool. Made no sense though. Like, they're not Sting's friends. Wasn't the entire point that they hate Sting? That's one of the biggest WCW rivalries, but I guess if I would have to try to make sense of it, they're letting bygones be bygones. We're old. We can barely hold our piss. Come on, why are we fighting anymore? I don't know if X-Pac is the best or worst friend. He had to make a decision. He was both a part of DX and NWO. He chose the money. Okay, so we got to experience Monday Night Wars at WrestleMania, which was cool. It really seemed like Sting had it won, and we got that sweet chin music from HB Shizzle. That's literally how JBL called him during this match. That was kind of funny. Bat versus Sledgehammer, the Bat wins. Triple H still hits him with a sledgehammer and just pins him. Oh, so Triple H wins the match. I don't know about that. Triple H boy kinda had that opportunity to tell people, me burying the WWC talent was a coincidence. Never meant to happen. You kinda had an opportunity to prove people wrong. Well, you chose to get that W anyway, and you did this show of respect just to make sure the match doesn't happen again. And you won. WWE wins! It wasn't a WWE versus WCW thing in the first place!
There is no part 2. I won.
Well, we did get Sting at WrestleMania, which is something you can't take away, but at the same time, it's kind of unfortunate that he barely had any more matches in the WWE. Really unfortunate. It looked so promising, looked so fun. Taker, Sting, please? No? Okay. Whatever way you look at it, you can't tell me otherwise. This was all ego. All ego. WCW talent? Nah, not at WrestleMania. Money in the Power was a pretty cool Mania song. And then we got Paige and AJ versus the Bella Twins. shut up. Man, at the time, it really seemed like Paige had it going on. She was so likable. Sometimes I wish wrestlers didn't really use social media. This was a 6-minute and 42-second match, and they tried to make the best of it. It was pretty fun, but the match was really short, and I guess it would have been a better idea to have AJ versus Paige for the championship, the Divas Championship, the most beautiful WWE Championship of all time. So the babyface team won the match, and I believe this was AJ's last appearance on the WWE, which is really sad. I miss her. One of my favorites. She's married to Kane now, just living that life, but I really hope one day she's gonna come back to the WWE. Rusev versus John Cena. Lana enters with a Russian anthem. Okay, not to get political and stuff, but as a Lithuanian, like, you know the history. That will get heat from me. And then Rusev enters with a tank. Oh, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. They always be playing villains and shit. Should I try to comment this entire match in Russian accent? I think I will. It's funny how Rusev is not even Russian anymore. I hate to say it, but he did have aura. And obviously John Cena, the American, who's here to save the day. She looks familiar. I believe Rusev was undefeated at the time. This was also John Cena wrestling for a mid-card title at Mania. Okay, you get the point. Simple classic story was told. Can Americans save WWE by taking the US title from a Russian? Dude was flexing a Russian flag mid-match. The match was decent. Cena was still moving like crazy, but what's weird is how Cena was working with a younger talent again and still came out on top. You know, he beat Bray, he beat Rusev, so is he really putting over talent or is just, yeah. I get the point of this match. Obviously Cena is going to win. It's very vague, it's very basic, it's so predictable. Come on. Rusev accidentally hits Lana, AA, Cena wins LOL, which makes sense, but sometimes you're like, I want something dark. You know, imagine Rusev won. Oh my god, give us a bummer. I want a bummer. We got Daniel Bryan winning the championship, now make us sad. Oh, you did that with Sting. This would have made more sense. With all that being said, I'm not gonna complain about Cena winning. I mean, he had a great reign with that United States Championship, but you know, again, Rusev never truly recovered. These kind of gimmicks, I guess, are not really meant to last that long in the first place. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon announced the attendance record. He brags about beating Sting, and the authority always wins. Seth Rollins just lost, come on. We got The Rock, big ovation, reminding that you don't own the fans or him. After some trash talk, Stephanie slaps The Rock and orders him to leave. Instead, he brings in Ronda. He says, I'm not gonna hit women. But, of course, he brings in Ronda Rousey, which was a pretty big deal, pretty big moment. They beat the shit out of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, creating a massive WrestleMania moment. People need to remember Ronda was huge back in the day. Whether you like her or not, she was absolutely huge. And then she wrestled in the WWE 3 years after this encounter, which, again, was a great match. And maybe I should watch that Mania. I don't know, did you guys like it? We got The Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, something that should have been better. The build was bad, or as good as it could have been, with only Bray Wyatt showing up on weekly television. Taker was nowhere to be found. I remember fans being really angry about that, because this is something special. Bray Wyatt is kind of the next Undertaker. That Bray entrance really needed nighttime, and Taker needed it 1,000 times even more. Undertaker's entrance in daylight? Come on, no. Fresh off his streak taken away from him, we wonder what's gonna be the story. You can either rebuild the Undertaker in a way and show that the ending of the streak is not the end of the Undertaker. I'm still a dead man. Can't do that. Or you could build the next Undertaker by making Bray Wyatt win. Some would say exactly the guy we should have broken the streak in the first place, which I get why Lesnar won. It made sense. Hard to argue with a statement that Bray Wyatt should have been the one. I mean, he's kind of the next Undertaker. He is our modern version of that. So the match was pretty slow. They were given 50 minutes and it was pretty much greatest hits of The Undertaker, you know, had some cool moments. It definitely told the Undertaker redemption story too. Wyatt kicking out of Tombstone Piledriver was cool, and the iconic stare down we all probably remember. Taker versus the sister Abigail and hits Wyatt with a Tombstone Piledriver again and wins the match. It makes sense, no hate whatsoever, I guess, but Bray Wyatt losing both Manias wasn't exactly ideal. He lost against Cena, he lost against Taker, that was the problem, you know, he's this promising young superstar, and every time he's in a big rivalry, he ends up losing. he lost against Randy too. But again, nobody really expected The Undertaker to lose in the first place. It was finally time for Lesnar versus Reigns. When I tell you nobody cared, I mean, Roman was boring. This match, by the way, did happen because of that terrible Rumble victory. Tug of war over WWE title. If we only knew this is the first out of 1,500 encounters. But as they say, I can and I will. Oh my god, like Roman was great. I always knew he's great. I always knew he has the potential, but I think in scenarios like these, you gotta turn somebody heel and then they start liking you. And then you turn him into a babyface. Roman with that, I'm still not over the Shield entrance, and Lesnar with the classic. Man, they knew what they were doing. The match starts hot right away. Like, they were wasting no time. They had so many matches, and their first match might be the best one. Like, even though nobody cared about the match, it surprised all of us. It wasn't a technical classic or anything like that, but they understood the assignment. They knew what needs to be done. Some hard-hitting action. Roman was the underdog. The match got "this is awesome" chants. People started really loving it, and Reigns was still booed during the match. They were enjoying the match, but every time Roman did something cool, they were like, oh, no. For some reason, this spot is ingrained into my memory. Lesnar was dominating Roman Reigns during this match for the most part. We got 3 F5s, and Roman still kicked out though. Lesnar started to get pissed. Time's running out, Roman. Come on, let's get this done and over with. Daisy's waiting! Lesnar gets busted open, big deal back then by the way, and this is where Roman finally got some momentum going, obviously with a lot of boos. Eventually still eats F5, Rollins music hits, he's about to save the world, people! Crazy pop, he cashes in, curb stomp to Lesnar, Roman comes back with a spear to Lesnar, still Rollins takes the advantage, stomps Reigns and pins him. Heist of the century, everything is right in the world. Nobody wanted Roman to win. You know, they rejected the guy. Lesnar's style reign got really stale, and Rollins. I remember not even thinking about that possibility, honestly, because it felt so obvious that this is the guy they want to push. Obviously, Reigns is gonna win this match, and you know, whatever. That's it. New era of WWE, next John Cena. WWE said, well, maybe he ain't ready, pal. Still one of the greatest WWE cash-ins of all time. A main event that nobody expected to be good. Not only was a good match, but also had one of the greatest WrestleMania moments of all time. So WWE absolutely nailed it. And in some ways, this Mania was better than WrestleMania 30. Now, looking back at this WrestleMania, it made me realize, man, not that many matches, right? Obviously, we got a couple of pre-show matches, but still. With the roster we have right now, I'm kinda glad we have 2 nights of Mania. I would say this Mania is a solid 7.5 out of 10. The build didn't necessarily get you that excited about this WrestleMania, but the delivery was there. Hated Triple H beating Sting, Taker vs. Bray could have been way better, throwaway women's match, but also some really good moments that we all still talk about. I love rewatching these old WWE shows because it takes me to a time when I was a bit younger, you know, some nostalgia. Absolutely love that. Whether the shows are good or bad, it still gives me that certain feeling. So this WrestleMania was good, people. Probably topped it next year though, right? Did they? WrestleMania 32? Did they? Well, let me know in the comments below if you would like me to watch that one. Thank you so much for watching this video. Appreciate your support. Subscribe if you already didn't. Love ya. The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.